Hi, my name is Kimberly Harwood, and today I'll be presenting you my speech on the overcrowding of prisons. In a small Delaware prison named James G. Fogg Correctional Center, in 2015, a riot broke out. During this riot, a guard was overwhelmed by the amount of prisoners coming at him and killed. Just a couple of weeks beforehand, they had reached out to their Department of Justice, pleading with them to have their prison expanded to make up for the number of prisoners they held inside. This quest was denied. Now, 4 short years later, prisons all across America, not just Delaware, no longer reach out to their Department of Justice, pleading with them to expand. Instead, releasing prisoners who are considered soft criminals early. While these prisoners, being considered soft criminals, may not seem like a big deal, it is. It is people being released like my Uncle John, who have records such as the distribution of methamphetamines, as well as the possession of methamphetamines, breaking and entering, and a long record of theft. Today I will cover how it is possible that we've reached max capacity in most of our prisons across the United States, how many people are being released back into the streets, and ways to actually prevent this from happening. The Department of Justice, when the Delaware prison had reached out, had made their decision based on what they specifically saw on paper, rather than going and seeing the actual prison's conditions themselves. The Allen's article, Understaffed and Overcrowded, on this event stated that Vong, which opened in 1971, was built to hold 441 inmates, but had since been renovated to hold up to 2,600 people. The Department of Justice had saw that this expansion had taken place only 44 years beforehand and decided that it was too soon to renovate again. Nearly half a century was too soon in their eyes. But in reality, the small Delaware prison was currently holding over 5,000 prisoners inside. That is nearly double what they should have been holding. But the people inside the Department of Justice who were looking at their papers decided that the best course of action was rather to send them 50 more guards, making their prison guard ratio 1 in 50. The riot in which that guard was killed could have been prevented if help had been given to them when they had originally reached out. Now let's move on to, if criminals aren't doing their time, how are they ever to learn from their mistakes? In 2015, only 13.3% of the criminals who were charged with a crime stayed in jail. That means that 86.7% were let out, few of which were criminals actually assigned to leave within the few short months that they were freed. The Anna article states, the vast majority of U.S. prisoners are incarcerated in state and local facilities. Fewer than 200,000 of the 1.5 million total inmates were in federal prisons at the end of 2015. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics data, another 730 people were in local jails at the end of 2015, bringing the total incarceration population to about 2.2 million people. But today, in 2019, these numbers haven't really changed. According to prisonpolicy.org, in this chart, there are 731 prisoners currently in jails right now. 76% of these people held in the jails are not even convicted of a crime currently. Sadly, a large number of these people are teenagers between the ages of 14 to 18. According to an Alex article, Prison Overcrowding Threatens Public Safety, that data also exposes disturbing realities about juvenile detention. For example, as the study reports, there are almost 15,000 children behind bars whose most serious offense wasn't anything that most people would consider a crime. The same article states later that annually each inmate cost taxpayers approximately $31,286 on average. It is important to note that these mass incarnation numbers are higher than necessary to protect public safety. So with some simple math, I was able to determine that the teenage criminals alone have $469 million spent on them each year. While a lot of these criminals don't seem to deserve to be there are also a lot of criminals in jail who do deserve to be there, and they're still being released early. And if you're giving these drug dealers the mindset that they might be let out early, whether they're caught or not, it's gonna make it easier for them to continue to do so. Let's move on to ways to help those who aren't serious offenders avoid prison time. 2 ways to help people who might have done something bad, but might not be bad enough to really have prison time. We should create community centers or rehabilitation centers for those who might be doing drugs or continuously showing up on the record that they're doing drugs. According to this second prisonpolicy.org chart, most of the people who are in jail tend to be those of poor backgrounds and people of color. And these are the people that we should be helping avoid jail so that they can live better lives. Another tactic to help prevent something like that riot happening is a student-to-teacher ratio. If a teacher cannot have more than 20 to 30 kids in class, what makes it okay to have a guard have to watch more than 20 to 30 prisoners? Now that we've covered all points, let's conclude. Today I covered how max capacity affects guards, how many people are coming in and out of the system, and ways we can help. The overcrowding of prisons is no joke, and a hurdle we must solve for a lot of our problems. Keeping those who need time to improve themselves in prisons can be beneficial to everyone. For more information, I highly recommend you go to www.prisonpolicy.org, www.usnet.com, and www.alec.org. Thank you.